What is up, guys? Rick Kakas here, and today we are going to be discussing the big changes to exotics in Destiny 2 that will be arriving rather shortly, and how some of these changes are potentially problematic. Now, these changes to exotics are undoubtedly big news, and that's because exotics are undoubtedly a huge part of Destiny 2. They are, at least supposed to be, the premier loot that many people are going for, and many people do. Getting an exotic engram, as long as you still have exotics you're trying to earn, is very exciting, and it's something that most people look to complete their collection of. So, these changes were announced with the recent blog update, the State of Destiny 2, and they were somewhat pushed aside because so many things were announced at the same time, like Masterworks weapons. It's hard to start a discussion about changes to exotic engrams when other crazy things are going on, but again, this is an important topic to talk about. So, what changes are being made going forward? Well, firstly, generally, a couple of things are going to come. Firstly, Bungie states that we plan to tune underperforming exotics and will continue to make targeted updates and improvements. That is a really big deal, and here's why. What do they mean by underperforming? I think a lot of us would point to weapons that just aren't good exotics, like the Fighting Lion exotic grenade launcher. It just doesn't have a place anywhere in the game. That's a clearly underperforming exotic. However, aside from the Mida multi-tool, what exotic weapons do you see in PvP? Not too many. There is a lot of exotics that just see basically no play anywhere. PvP is dominated by legendaries and the Mida multi-tool. So it's going to be really interesting, and this change presumably will come with the Sandbox update that hits Destiny 2 on December 5th with the launch of the Curse of Osiris expansion, so we could see a lot of exotics retuned and reimagined. Now, currently, there is a debate within the Destiny community of how powerful exotic weapons should be and armor in PvP, with some people wanting everything to be balanced and to have options to use legendaries over exotics, which we have right now, and other people wanting exotics to actually feel exotic in the Crucible. The main argument there is, if they're not supposed to be powerful, if they're supposed to be perfectly balanced, why are we only allowed to use one exotic at a time? That entire feature was implemented because exotics were supposed to be so powerful, and using multiple exotics at the same time was just supposed to be ridiculous back in the early days of Destiny 1. And we've come a long way since then, so it's going to be really interesting to see if Bungie, with what they're saying here, repowers these underperforming exotics and changes the entire landscapes of how exotics function in Destiny 2. So that is the first big change to exotics coming, and hopefully on December 5th, we will have a reason to use some of the exotics that have just been sitting in our vaults. But the second big change kind of comes in one big wave of several different things. So Bungie goes on to say they're going to add duplication protection to exotics in the new year. So either with or just before the second expansion, the Warmind expansion, we are going to have, again, duplication protection, meaning that when we decode exotic engrams in general, we should see the chance to get duplicate exotics go down dramatically. However, in addition to that, Xur is also getting some major changes that will hit Destiny 2 on December 12th. So firstly, he has the Faded Engram as a new item you can buy. It's an exotic engram that will decrypt to something you don't have in your collection. So it guarantees you can buy one per week that you get a new exotic. Also, we have 3 of coins being reintroduced. You buy them with legendary shards. For 4 hours, your chances to get exotic engrams just go up. So, all of these changes, the fact that in the future you will get a lot less duplicate exotics, the fact that Xur is outright selling a new exotic every single week, and the fact that 3 of coins are being introduced to increase your exotic drop rate means that overall, your chances to get exotics and new exotics are going up substantially in Destiny 2. Now, on the surface, even me the first time I read that, I went, oh, cool, 3 of coins, faded engram. But if you really think about it, is this a good thing? And anytime you talk about lowering exotic drop rates, people freak out. But let's just remind ourselves, what's the biggest problem in Destiny 2 right now? It's there's no endgame. It's not that there's too much to do, it's that there's nothing to do and there's no reason to play. Having good exotic weapons and armor that motivates people to play the game to earn those exotics is definitely a reason to play. That's definitely a plus for the end game. And making exotics so much easier to get, and already they're pretty easy to get in Destiny 2. After a couple of hours of grinding just public events, you will have gotten probably multiple exotic engrams. I'm not sure if overall this is going to be a good change, especially when you consider that we've been playing the game for quite a while now. I'm sure a lot of us have pretty decent collections of exotic weapons. Like, we have a lot of them. And so we're getting, let's say, we get 5 to 10 new exotics. 5 would be decent, 10 would be amazing, of course, with the Curse of Osiris. The fact that we have all of these new methods to get exotics, and the fact that every week you're guaranteed a brand new exotic, we're gonna run through these new DLC exotics in no time. And again, that may not be the best option for a game already suffering from the endgame. You want people to play more, not collect all of the exotics in 3 weeks and say, well, I'm done again. I have no reason to play. Now again, I know it sounds bad if you're sitting there missing certain exotics within your collection. Like me, I still can't get the Borealis sniper rifle and I play all the time. But again, look at it from the perspective of the longevity of the game. The fact that raid weapons were handed out for not even doing the raid devalued it incredibly, and you don't see as many people playing the raid anymore. And the fact that there's nothing for doing prestige mode also. The fact that static rolls mean that when you get the weapons you want, you have no motivation to play. A lot of these things have resulted from Bungie kind of giving us everything so easily. And look at the player base count, look at the complaints, it's definitely not worked out. We swung the pendulum way too far in the other direction from Destiny 1. So all of these changes massively increasing the amount of exotics you're going to get and guaranteeing you're going to get your missing exotics. I'm not sure this is actually going to be a positive change in the end. With that being said, if this is the model going forward and exotics are just going to be easier to get, so be it. Bungie needs to look at other solutions to address this somewhat of a problem. Again, the second you get all the exotics, your motivation to play plummets. So, we need to introduce things like, how about this idea? Why can't you earn the exotic ornaments through gameplay? Why can't you unlock your exotic ornaments by getting, let's say, 10,000 PvE kills or 500 PvP kills? And then you would get your exotic ornament for, of course, getting kills with that certain exotic weapon. That would give you a reason to keep playing the game after you've gotten a certain exotic. That would give people a reason to use some of the, underloved exotics, break out the fighting line to get that ornament, because why not? It's something to do, it's something to work for. Bungie needs to look at ideas similar to that in order to improve exotics going forward. Heck, some of the things that we saw on masterwork weapons like kill counts should be introduced to exotics as well. And something Bungie needs to consider, and this is a big can of worms. I could spend tons of time talking about this, but I won't in this video. But they seriously need to look at the possibility of introducing even just certain perks that give PvE and PvP differences in exotics. Right? If you're trying to balance everything for PvP, you're going to end up with some lackluster PvE exotics. Exotics that should be good, but just because they're trying so hard to balance them, just can't find a foothold. Having even just a couple of perks that increase damage against Cabal, against Fallen, what have you, is going to definitely help these exotics that they're introducing, even the existing exotics, see more play in Destiny 2, and therefore give people a reason to go and try to get them. Your motivation to get a lackluster exotic, like if you're missing the Fighting Lion, you're not going to try really hard to go and get it. But if you're missing a good exotic, if you're missing the Merciless, you are going to keep grinding, and that's a very important factor. In any event, guys, that's it for the video. Just wanted to talk about these changes to exotics coming and also their impact on the game and why something that, on the surface may appear like a good thing, in the end may actually not be so great for Destiny 2. If you guys enjoyed the video, especially if you agree with what I'm saying, please remember to support the video by liking and especially sharing. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.